1970 Volkswagen Convertible, restoration number 2. Clip 3, floor plan demolition, June 2011. To make access easier, jack up the car and put it on 4 jack stands. Spray penetrating oil on the running board bolts and the pan bolt. Use the flashlight to make sure you do not miss any of the bolts. The running board has a bolt and nut at each fender location and 4 bolts along the run of the running board. Use a 13 or 10 mm wrench or socket at the location shown. After you remove the 2 fender bolts and loosen the 4 side bolts for the running board should lift off. You will need a 13 mm socket to remove the 9 bolts under the car for the floor pan. Clean the bolts and washer with mineral spirit and then WD-40, then dry them off. Discard the rubber washer that mount between the fenders and the running board. Just buy new ones. Tag and bag both the running board bolts and the floor pan bolt in individual bags. Store the bolts in the container with the previous removed item. Pry off the front kick plate on the passenger side with a screwdriver. After watching the Bug Me video once again, I came and marked the location that I wanted to cut the pan out. Of course, the side here is connected by bolts, and I disconnected them yesterday. The main tools I expect to use are a cut-off saw, disc, glove, goggle, reciprocating saw, and of course a hammer, chisel, pry bar, and a die grinder, and a vacuum cleaner. Drill a couple of starter holes for the saw blade. Using the reciprocating saw, I made the first cut toward the rear. Then I made a cut toward the front. After a few more cuts, I was able to pull out the interior of the passenger side floor pan. And this was the easy part. It was a slow process ripping up the remaining portion of the floor pan. I used a hammer and chisel to break the weld connection. I used a cut-off saw to clean up some of the weld, but I would need a grinder to clean the remainder. Okay, that's my 3 hours today. I got one pan out and got some of the weld cleaned up, but I still got a few more weld to clean. I got to stop. My cutoff wheel start working, so I guess I have to go buy another one, but about 3 more hours put into it today. That's about enough a day. Today, the hard side, the driver's side, primarily due to the pedal cluster and the brake line and the electrical wiring. But I get it. Just take my time. It'll be worth it. Remove the front bolt to the pedal cluster with a 17 mm socket. Remove the rear bolt of the pedal cluster with a 17 mm socket. Remove the clip on the brake rod connector with a screwdriver. Then remove the brake rod connector by pulling it straight out. Remove the accelerator cable with snug-nose pliers. Check the condition of both the accelerator cable and the clutch cable to see if they need to be replaced. Tie the accelerator cable out of the way with a string or wire as shown. Remove the entire pedal cluster assembly and clean with paint thinner and throw in a bag with all bolts and brake clip. Tie a string or wire to the clutch cable to keep it from sliding back into the tunnel. Tie the brake line out of the way. Disconnect and move the electrical line out of the way. Drill starter holes for the saw blade and cut out the driver's side using the same procedure utilized on the passenger side, but being very careful around the brake line and electrical cables. Okay, 3 more hours. Look like I'm on a 3-hour cycle. The driver's side came out. Look like the back flange came off on this side. So I guess I have to make a decision. Do I want to take the flange off on that side? But now all I got to do is do a little cleaning up and grind the weld down. Use a die grinder to clean up the weld. Wear goggles, face protection, and a long sleeve shirt, and have a fire extinguisher close by, and make sure no flammable are nearby. Also, please be careful. This took about 2 hours. A recap of the time used: 3 hours to remove the interior, 11 hours to remove both floor pans, 14 hours total to date. Stay tuned for progress reports.